Hello and welcome to Football Talk, the football podcast with myself, Dave, and a very special guest, Loki Doki. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing very well. Hello, everyone. Worldwide internet.
Excellent.
I sound old, don't I? Jesus. Good start. Confident start.
Yeah, it's fine. It's just like normal, but there's no football manager, so
yeah,
it's great.
Yeah, I don't know what to do if there's no football manager in front of me.
Yeah. Picture it as your ramble. I was a big fan of the ramble.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's great.
I like the ramble.
Obviously, Josh is still sunning himself off in Florida with his family. So for the second week in a row, we've got a special guest, and I am actually very excited to have you on because I know you're a very passionate Liverpool fan.
I am indeed. You can tell from the accent.
Yeah. Well, I'm the same here from Manchester, obviously.
Yeah. I just get that in straight away early before someone puts in a comment. No.
Yeah, very thick. That very thick Cockney accent I've got, which is famously from Manchester. So. Yeah, I mean, it's really good. I mean, is there anything, obviously the major things that have happened in the football this week?
Been a busy week, yeah.
It has been a busy week. So first off, I want your opinion on Barcelona and Liverpool, because as a United fan, you've gone to Barcelona and lost by the same scoreline that we did, but everyone says, oh, well, Liverpool made an effort of it. So I want to know from a Liverpool fan, how do you feel about that result? Like, Barcelona.
Obviously, the result itself, I'm absolutely gutted by. But we played really well. I'm not saying we should have won or anything, but we definitely deserved at least a goal.
Yeah.
And we just didn't put away our chances. And, they've got that Messi kid who I reckon's got a big future.
Yeah, he's got something about him, isn't he? That Lionel Messi, I think his name is. I've not really heard of him.
Yeah, Lee Messi, I think, or something. Yeah.
I mean, were you expecting... What sort of scoreline were you expecting, or would you have said was acceptable as a Liverpool fan?
I think I was expecting something. I think that we were never going to go there and sort of sit back and try and counter. That's not how we play, and that's just not how they play. So I was expecting goals. I was expecting a 2-2 or something like along those lines.
Okay, all right. So are you more disappointed that you guys didn't actually score, because you said you had the chances? Obviously, we've seen the highlights and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So. Even a 3-1, I would feel we've got a decent chance, and I'm still not saying we have no chance, because we've been 3-0 down at half time in important Champions League matches before and done all right. Yeah,
definitely. And I mean, I was chatting to one of my other friends who's a Liverpool fan, and he was like, Origi has set himself up to be a season saver now.
Yeah, scores against Everton, scores against Newcastle.
Yeah, keeping you in the hunt. And who knows, a hat-trick for Origi at Anfield against Barcelona.
Yeah, exactly. And then Messi will score a free kick in the 92nd minute.
Well, yeah, I mean...
70 yards or something. He'll just start taking goal kicks because he's that good and just
picking out people from goal kicks.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's an interesting one, because as I'm a strange Man United fan, is at the sense that I would want all the English teams to do well in Europe, and I would love to have seen Liverpool or Man City or whoever or Tottenham get to a final. If Tottenham get to the final,
question
I want them
then.
to win it. Yeah, go on.
So if Liverpool were to play Ajax in the final, you would cheer on Liverpool?
No, cheer on Ajax. You didn't let me finish. Yeah.
Okay, the caveat. You want to do well, just not that well.
Yeah.
Right, not win stuff.
Yeah, I always want them to do well unless it's not my team getting to a final, and then I'll cheer it. But in the case of Spurs, so if it's Spurs v Barcelona, will you be cheering on Spurs?
I will be cheering on Spurs. Yeah. I'm kind of the same, but there's lots more teams that I wouldn't cheer on. In England, obviously not Man United. I'd probably cheer on Arsenal.
Okay.
I definitely wouldn't cheer on Man City, and not Chelsea. That's just you, but
so I mean, I'm interested. What's your remit then? What's your remit for supporting other English teams in Europe?
Stupid amounts of money, I think, is an issue. I remember you talking about the cup loss with PSG on the last pod, and I was in full agreement. I was like, yeah, I have nothing personally against PSG, but when they've just basically gobbled up every young superstar in the world, and they can't even win their own domestic trophy, I think that's just glorious.
Yeah, when it's come from oil money rather than...
Obviously, all football is a business, even lower leagues that people don't like to say it is. They just pretend it's Premier League. But every football team is a business, and everybody complains about that taking over the game and stuff. And obviously, all Premier League teams have to have some sort of backing from rich owners and stuff. But when you just sort of flop out a big wad of cash every year, and just that you've not earned as a club, a la Man City, who can't even fill the stadium on a regular basis. That just feels like as much as obviously I have a rivalry with Man United, I've always admired them because they did it all themselves. Sometimes despite their owners, like Liverpool, we've had a few ropey owners, and it's almost. But we have the fan base, the history that we've built up to support that sort of financial muscle, as opposed to the PSGs and the Man Cities, where it's just here's unlimited money. Go buy things.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite interesting because I read a very interesting article on a website called Football 365. I talk about it quite a lot in the pod, but they had a very interesting article about how far do you go to separate sort of like money and a football club, and then the football club's owners and what that owners stand for. And they were talking about Man City, and obviously coming from, oh my god, I got Abu Dhabi or. Around that area of the world where obviously their human rights are questionable, and with homosexuality and women and things like that, and they're like, how do you separate it? If you're a fan of Man City, how do you think, oh yeah, well, it's really good, but they wouldn't have got the money if it wasn't for someone in that country who got their wealth, who doesn't believe in human rights. And it was a very interesting article to...
It's a really just a whole idea, really. Like, obviously with PSG and their Qatari owners, there's talk of them pulling out.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've read this, and investing in a British club potentially. And they were talking about things like Nottingham Forest was one of them, and QPR was one of them. There's a YouTuber I watched called James Lawrence Olcott, does Ball Street and stuff, and he's a QPR fan. And I was trying to put myself in that position. If I'm let's say a fan of a mid-table championship side with a bit of history, maybe in London, would I want ridiculously rich owners? And the answer is no.
Okay.
Because it would be bittersweet. I think I wouldn't feel that same sense of accomplishment. I'd want somebody maybe to come in, a new owner to come in that invests some money. I have no problem in that. That's what most new owners do. But when it's like that unlimited funds type thing, like, you know, we'll just bring Mbappe to the championship because we can, sort of, you know.
Yeah.
I struggle with that, and it's like with the Chelsea stuff with the Roman Abramovich. Isn't he like not allowed to come to England, like the UK anymore?
Oh, there's something weird about it. Yeah, he's got something weird about it,
and he's got probably a very interesting background.
Yes, yeah, but I mean, it's interesting because you hear like the Man City fans that you hear who have been the older generation of fans, let's say, and they're always like, "Oh, I wouldn't exchange anything for the world. I was there through the lows. I was there through the relegations, and now people are just jealous.
Like they've paid for it.
Got the money, yeah, and it's like I think any smaller team would sort of feel that, and I don't know when it's the questionable.
There's where's the line?
Yeah, where's the line?
The line should be financial fair play, but that obviously line doesn't exist.
Yeah,
so that's I think the problem. If there was a really strict proper financial fair play, then that would be fine, because then even stupidly rich owners couldn't just pump absurd amounts of money into the club and pretend to do sponsorships for companies they own for billions. When
I mean,
is so dodgy.
The whole financial fair play thing is just so absurd, really. Not obscene, but absurd in the sense that it's like the clubs just then pay for the best lawyers to find loopholes in financial fair play, so that, for example, and I'm picking on Man City, but like
just generally anyway.
The fact that they can, our sponsorship with Emirates or Abu Dhabi Airlines or whoever it is pays us 200 million. Weirdly, that offsets everything we need for financial fair play. So
exactly. And that's if that was fixed, then there'd be, I think, a lot less of an issue. But like you said, it's right. You know, if you're a Man City fan for the last 30 years and you've seen, you know, the bad times and you've gone through the crap, it's like not as if you can change a team. Yeah. It's not as if you can be a Man City fan and they get taken over. Oh, I don't agree with that. I've got to leave. You kind of have to be okay with it to a certain extent, or at least just ignore that side of things.
I guess it depends how it is, really, because obviously Man United, with the Glazers and everything, that's how United of Manchester, FC United of Manchester got set up, and
that's true. Yeah.
MK Dons and Wimbledon is slightly different in terms of they just got relocated, which is really bizarre. But so there is something fans can do, but then it's, I guess, again,
that's not fair to them, is it?
That's it. Yeah, it's
not fair to that United fan that feels like he has to go and support some non-league team.
Yeah, exactly.
With a backward sounding name, to just because of the owners. I think it's a real tough one.
Yeah, it is, and it's very, very off topic from what I actually wanted to talk about. But great chat.
Yeah.
So obviously, just going back to the Champions League, then. So what do you think is going to happen in the two games, the two other semi-finals, the second legs? Just start with Ajax Spurs, and then we'll get onto the big one with Liverpool. But Ajax Spurs, do you reckon Spurs are going to turn it around, or?
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't think they are. Spurs are weird.
Spurs are very weird, yeah.
I know they the meme of Spursing it up, but they keep living up to it, which is...
That's the problem, yeah.
Because third should have been nailed on. Like, they were only they were in the race for the title not long ago.
Yeah.
Like, they were with Liverpool and Man United, and now they're like, whatever it is, 20 points behind.
It is really bizarre. I think that the loss they had this weekend was their fifth loss in a row in all competitions or something. It's just weird.
And Son got sent off, and the other dude got sent off.
Yeah,
oh yeah, that was brilliant. Came on.
Yeah, came on.
Knee high slide, and then was like, laters.
What made it brilliant is that he came on to replace Alderweireld, who was on a yellow card, and Pochettino didn't want him to get sent off. And then
settle it down. You know, the old calm down talk, and then he just like have it. I think he had tickets for an Endgame or something that he wanted to.
He saw he was on the bench, so he booked his tickets. Yeah. But okay,
I feel like Spurs just gonna make a mistake. That I don't, because is Son back for the second leg?
Yeah, Son is back for the second leg, and I think that's the difference.
But Harry Kane's still out.
Harry Kane's out,
isn't it? Yeah. So I just think they'll find a way to lose.
Is it a sort of like they'll score, it'll be 1-1 and they'll lose on penalties or something? Or
yeah, I think so. But I think we're not giving enough credit to Ajax. Their young team is I think it's so good for football to have Ajax back, and I know it's not going to fix the size of the Dutch league in the for the last sort of 15 years. Every time they get a good young player, they leave to go to a big league, and I don't think that's going to fix it. But even if that just edges it up slightly, I know a couple of their youngsters are bound to leave this season, but if that just means that some of these Ajax kids are going to come through and stay there for an extra year or something like that, or the Feyenoord kids are going to come through and go, okay, this league is actually going places.
Yeah,
it'd be fantastic if it built the league up. But
it would be nice if this whole Ajax team didn't get ripped to shreds. If they De Jong's already leaving, but it's like it doesn't. Because you could even see a team like Man United, who more than likely aren't going to be in the Champions League next year, would still be a massive pull to someone from Ajax who could potentially be in the Champions League final, which, when you think of it, is fucking weird.
Yes, that's the money issue, isn't it? But okay, you can just sort of give him Sanchez money, and they'll go, "Oh, okay, cool, Europa League, love it."
I'll tell you
much prefer that in the Champions League.
I hope even Woodward has realised and learned that you don't have to chuck Sanchez money at anyone else ever again.
Yeah,
because Jesus, I mean, he's starting.
Because then you have players like David De Gea going, "Hello, can I have that money, please?"
Oh no, we've run out of money.
I've been your best goalkeeper. Like I've been your best player for like 5 years. Can I get paid as much as that guy that sits on the bench?
Yeah. Oh no, we've run out of money because we had to pay him for when he didn't make an appearance. We had to pay him. Yeah. So, in news, Scott McTominay has scored to make it 1-0 Man United. So.
Yay!
Excellent. Good for me.
Good.
Yeah. Good for the top four.
As race. It happens.
Yeah. As it happens.
Do you like McTominay?
Josh brought this up. Josh brought this up.
No, when you went.
No. Josh brought this up about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I was like,
will he be another Man United sort of youngster, nearly man? Like, he's okay. He'll be around the club for the next 5 years.
I can't see him doing any more than like Darren Fletcher did. Now, Darren Fletcher scored some good goals in his time, but he was never a standout first 11. You'd put him in your team every week sort of player. And I think McTominay would be much more suited to a mid-table team where he can play every week. And even then, I'm not sure he would play every week. I don't see what he brings. He's not old at all. He's 19, 20, something like that. But he's, I just don't get it. I don't like.
Would you loan if you knew that he wasn't going to be like?
He's 22.
Sorry, a lot of games. 20. That's ancient.
Yeah.
If you knew he wasn't going to get like a lot of games next season, he was just going to be a bit part player. Would you loan him out to another Premier League team?
Yeah, I'd like to give him a loan out to see. I'd like to give him a loan to a Premier League team who would play him every week unless he, got a bad injury or was utterly rubbish. To see how he copes with Premier League football week in, week out. I mean,
because like you say, he's 22 and you're still going, I'm not sure if he's going to make it. You should probably know by now if he's going to make it.
Exactly. But then, I felt kind of similar about Jesse Lingard, and he's had a good couple of seasons. But again, is he going to? Is Jesse Lingard a sort of player for a Champions League team? Like, he wouldn't go and play for Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea. I don't think he'd get in the Arsenal team. I mean, he wouldn't get in the. He might get in the Spurs team.
I think he's an okay. If you're looking at titles, he's not a title-winning player. I think he's a good squad player because he's pretty versatile as well. I think you could have him as your third, fourth option on the bench. But as a first choice, I don't think Lingard gets anywhere near the other dudes.
No, yeah, it's a really tough one. The best I've seen Jesse Lingard play is for England, if I'm honest. Like, I think the best ones I've ever seen him play is actually for England rather than for Man United. But so I'm sure someone will leave me a comment that disagrees and points out in a perforance where he was absolutely unbelievable.
That 5-minute period where he scored and did a silly dance.
Yeah. So, but okay. Let's move it on a little bit then. So, Barcelona-Liverpool second leg. What do you think?
Yes, I think we will win.
Okay. But not go through?
I think we will win comfortably. I think it'll be like a 3-1. I think we'll score relatively early on because we got to go for it. So it's kind of a win-win situation in that respect that we just go for it, But if we concede, then that we need to score a number of goals.
Yes.
And while we have it in us, I think. The fear, basically, I think if they score, they go through. I don't think we can score 5 goals.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, is it a lot harder now that Firmino is injured?
It does make things more difficult. It's gutting because he's one of those players that if I get lots of talk about people saying, well, he only scores 10 goals. He's a striker. That's rubbish. And it's just like, you just...
Yeah. You don't
understand. Yeah. Like, not trying to offend anyone, but okay, fair enough. If he was the main striker and he wasn't scoring, that's perfectly. But he's a lot of the time he plays as a number 10. A lot of the time you find him in central midfield. He is the terrier of the team. The one of the sort of fittest guys.
Yeah,
blinds people with his teeth as he goes in for tackles.
Yeah,
and. He is just exceptional at what he does. There's no better around than the mileage he puts in every game that allows the Manes and the Salahs to play and all that sort of stuff. So he's so hard. That sort of position is so hard to replace.
Yeah, okay. I mean, because I think it was Sturridge that started against Newcastle, wasn't it, up front? And he's a totally different. He changes the whole dynamic of the front three because he wants to run at goal.
And he's a really good player.
Yeah,
but it's not how we play a striker because like you say, it changes the other two. Because what Firmino does is drag players out of position for the other two, whereas Sturridge is just going to sit there, looking to take it into feet and to turn somebody or to take a touch and shoot, and that's not what Bobby does at all. So it makes us play. That's why we sort of tried the Genie Wijnaldum in that position almost, because it's not even so much about scoring goals; it's the work rate and all the other stuff he does. So it really does hurt us. Yeah, but, we've got a couple of other half-decent players. And I think it'll end up being something like a 2-1 to Liverpool. I think we'll score, and then they'll get one back, and that'll take all the wind out of our sails, and we might get one late or something. But yeah, I think they'll score. It's hard to stop that Messi fella.
I think it's going to be. Like an absolute goal fest. I think it could be like a 3-2,
probably
4-3.
A couple of old boxers just swinging haymakers. I'll be fine with that. Might as well. If you're gonna go out, just go out swinging wildly.
Exactly. I think you're right. I think Liverpool will score quite early on. I think you'll come out of the traps and really attack them, and they'll be a bit taken aback by it. And I think you'll score early, which then means they will then come out and score, and then it would literally just be a game of counter-attack v counter-attack in
who
defends the worst.
There was like a half an hour period of that Barcelona game where they were terrible. They couldn't keep the ball. They kept kicking out of play. They looked panicked. Yeah. Like, hang on, we're not used to people coming here and attacking us. We're used to Man United. So I had to.
Yeah, that's fine.
You know, but just generally, like, you know, most teams aren't going to go to the Camp Nou and go, right, then let's go toe to toe, see who wins, type thing. And there was a big period, so that does give us hope. But I just can't see them not scoring, and that's the issue.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, they've just, when you've got someone like Messi as an out ball. To like just get if Liverpool chuck so many men forwards, just Messi, you can see it. Messi will drift out to the wing. If Alexander-Arnold pushes on, then Messi will get the ball, run straight at. I assume Lovren won't be starting, but run straight at Matip or Van Dijk. Van Dijk could probably stop him. But world class defender Dejan and Lovren.
And speaking of Bobby Firmino, Suarez, he could do the job at Liverpool. He's that sort of player that will run, as horrible a human being as he seems to be. He's that sort of player.
Yeah.
If you look at some of his assists this season, where he could have easily scored goals, and he's so unselfish, just playing others in and stuff like that, that's his game to a T. So that Coutinho fella's all right as well.
Yeah, do you reckon he's going to score at Anfield? Classic on the left wing, cutting field.
No, because you just. If you're Trent Alexander-Arnold, you just stand on the corner of the box, and he's like, "Well, I've got nowhere to shoot. Then, have I? What am I gonna do?" I couldn't believe for a whole season teams didn't realise that's where he shoots every time, and he scored all those goals. It's
run down the left wing, cut it onto your right foot, curl it in the top corner.
From about 20 yards, edge of the area, every single time. And he's flopped a little bit, hasn't he? In Barcelona, they've just not really taken to him. Yeah, that's it. It's always hard to say that it's like a flop, because like the Spanish media and stuff will say that Gareth Bale's flopped, and if you look at his stats, he actually hasn't. It's just that they haven't taken to him. Yeah, they don't like him. He hasn't learned Spanish, so they don't like him. It's sort of like, but I mean, there's loads of things about La Liga that annoys me a little bit. I know that you tweeted the other day about I got some backlash for that.
Yeah, did
because
you?
Apparently because I tweeted, and this is just honest truth, was that I used to be a massive fan of Spanish football.
Yeah.
I used to watch a lot of the league games. I used to watch that La Liga roundup show on Sky Sports. It was my second league behind the Premier League, and I stopped watching it because the antics and the diving and the gamesmanship was
too much.
Just too much. And I said that, and I just tweeted that, this reminds me why I stopped watching Spanish football. It's just too much. But apparently me saying that meant that I was saying that a Liverpool player has never dived, or a Premier League player has never dived or done anything. People go, but the Premier League is terrible. I'm not saying that. It's it's the single thing I hate most in football.
Yeah,
is the diving about, the rolling about, the calling for yellow cards, all that stuff, and it happens everywhere. I'm just saying, in my opinion, when I was watching Spanish football, it's just almost culture.
Yeah.
At least in the Premier League, we still seem to hate it when the players do it.
Yeah.
And it's almost like applauded in Spain. That was a great 3 rolls. That was fantastic forward somersault after he flicked your ear.
Yeah. I mean,
so
I know what you mean. Cool. It's very frustrating to see it, because I used to love La Liga when I lived in the UK. It was great to tune into Sky Sports and La Liga's on, let's watch a little bit of it, and then you just see it, and it's so much more prevalent in La Liga, it seems, anyway. It's like, we're not saying people don't do it in the Premiership, and people do dive. I mean, Fabinho against Newcastle, but we'll get onto that in a minute. But it's just,
he was hacked down and it was disgusting.
I think it seems so much more commonplace in Spain. I mean, even Italy, I think obviously it is there, because everyone dives in every corner of the world wherever someone plays football. But I mean, even Italy used to be really famous for it, and now you don't hear too much of it in Italy.
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest problem with me in Spain is almost accepted, even by the commentators, by the fans, that's just part of the game. And I don't think we should ever get there. At least in the Premier League, we have all the fans calling each other out and calling the teams out and players out when they do dive. It's not like, well done for the dive. Yeah. And that when we get to that level, it's going to be a sad day.
That's very true.
But there's so many easy fixes. Like this, one of my biggest things is that the amount of shit referees get.
Yeah,
it's just we'll just mic them up. You don't have to be. It doesn't have to be public, but you can have just Big Jeff in the office listening, and you can just retrospectively ban. I'm not picking Rooney because he played for Man United, but just Rooney as a whole, quite famous.
Yeah.
For just giving the ref so much abuse every time there was a free kick or anything like that.
Yeah.
Just the abuse, you could lip read him, and it's just just ban him. Just ban it, because a while ago they had that thing where if players approached the referee, they'd get yellow cards, and that seemed to stop the crowding of the referee. But that seems to be forgotten about now.
Yeah,
because remember, it used to only be the captains that were allowed to go.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
but that's just gone away. It's just I
agree. I think if you'd mic them up, my thing, what I would do is I'd mic them up and I'd make a 3-strike rule. Because some players, it's very passionate. This is their life, what they do. They're going to get angry at what they conceive as a wrong decision. But you don't have to swear at the ref or insult him or things like that. And I think I would do
face.
Mic it up. It doesn't have to be public. And then after the game, the FA can employ someone to review every game, note down whose voice it is that swears or whatever, or things like that. First time you get a warning. Second time you get another warning. Third time you get a 1-match ban. Make it small, increments, and then it will slowly just die out anyway. So let us know down below what you think you would do to stop referee abuse in the Premier League, because it's good to know that Loki and I are on the same sort of wavelength. So we can't be the only ones.
It's my worst hate. It's the biggest thing I hate in football at all levels and leagues and countries and everything. It's just the antics the players get up to. We can talk about, and we will get onto it, about bad refereeing decisions and stuff like that. Yeah. But it is an impossible job. It is. And I think that the referees should be paid more, and there should be better training, because then that will lead to having more referees about.
Yeah.
One of the problems is there's not enough referees, but it's such a hard to expect one human. That's why in American football they have 600 different referees, because there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
In different areas of the pitch.
Yeah. I could never understand the rule. Now, we're a similar age, and I could never understand the rule where they stopped having linesmen on both sides all the way up and down the pitch.
Yeah.
Why get rid of it? Why make them half a pitch each? It's
not like they need it for budgetary reasons.
Yeah.
The Premier League's not making quite enough money, we're going to have to cut down to 2 linesmen.
Yeah,
I think we'll be alright.
Well, it's still the same money though, isn't it? It was always only 2 linesmen. It was just they went up and down either pitch. So, and UEFA can throw money at the situation and put a guy behind each goal with a stick to, point for a corner, because that's all I've ever seen him do.
Never makes a decision. I love that. That's the thing.
Looks at the ref.
I don't.
Yeah.
Oh no.
No, looks at the ref. What's the ref giving? Ref gives him goal kick. Yeah, I'll point at a goal kick as well. Yeah. But anyway, bizarre. I think we could chat about referees. I think the last thing I'll say about referees, right, is I think the FAs all around the world, FIFA, whatever, are obviously they're trying to help the referee by bringing in VAR, but the issue you have is that you're never going to win, because people will be like, some people will be like, you need VAR to help out the refs as much as possible, and then you get the other people who are like, but it's a sport based on human error, and this is what you need referees for, until it goes against their team. I call those people
idiots.
Yeah. Because
I'm all for having a chat down the pub, and VAR doesn't even stop that for a lot of decisions, so that's fine.
Yeah.
But surely, if you're talking, it's a sport where you. Ideally, it seems weird to even have this discussion. I feel like sports, they should try and get the rules right. How is that's like saying, okay, in the 100 meters we've just got a guy at the line who just looks to see who won.
Yeah.
Right? I think it was lane 4, and they go, okay, mistakes are made, it happens.
Yeah.
It seems bonkers that we having a discussion about. We would prefer to have more arguable decisions and wrong decisions.
The argument for me, it always falls down, because they all say, it's a game based on human error, and then as soon as an error made against their team, they're like, well, it's a bloody ridiculous call. Why was he how could he get that wrong? And it's like, well, that's why they're trying to bring in
human error. Welcome to human error land.
Yeah. But anyway, right. A quick review then of the weekend fixtures. Obviously not including the ones that are happening right now, where Man United are winning. Just to repeat that, we are actually winning the game. Still 1-0. Yeah. Talking of non-goal scoring strikers, we might come on to Lukaku later.
Oh, nice! He's a big lad, isn't he?
He is. He's Yeah, I don't know. Anyway.
I didn't know his hero was Akinfenwa.
Right, so the first game of the weekend was Everton-Burnley, I think it was, wasn't it? A 2-0 win for Everton. The Blue Noses across from your team. So
yes, they finally seem like they've realised they've got quite a good team of players.
I was just about to ask you, what do you make of Everton this year? And
I think they perpetually underperform. The last few years they've spent quite a lot of money and they bought some really good players. And
just they're all attacking midfielders.
And they just continue to finish 8th or whatever, 7th, 8th. They've got a good team.
I
think they still need a striker.
But
I think maybe finally that they've had a few good results recently.
Could you ever?
Couple I could think of.
I'm just trying to think though. In recent, with how the top 6 is and the big 6 teams in England,
yes.
Can you really see Everton cracking that, or is 7th, 8th where they should be? I mean, are they going to do better than... If they were ever going to do better than Man United or Arsenal, this was probably the season.
Yeah, but as we've seen in the top 4, I'm loath to call it a race, because it's a race where nobody wants to win.
Yeah.
It's that, they're not a million miles away, and Everton's problem was down to their poor early season. Recently they've improved. They're much improved. And if they'd just even been half decent the way through, they'd be in the talk for the top 6. Same as obviously Wolves have had a good season, and they're not a million miles off. I think it's always going to be a tough nut to crack. It was only a few years ago where it was the top 4 and everyone else.
Yeah.
Now it's the top 6 and everyone else. So you could carry that on and say in a few years it might be the top 8 and everybody else. It's not to say that 6 is very set now, and especially with the likes of Wolves doing what they're doing and stuff, and Everton are improving on paper at least. To say that could then become a little bit expanded and be more teams.
Yeah. That's a very valid point actually. I mean, I think the top, like you say, the top 6 can easily become a top 8 purely because of the money that's involved as well. Because every team in the Premier League can now go out and spend God knows how much on a striker and pay them God knows how much in wages because of the broadcasting rights and everything like that. So yeah, it's a very good point actually. It's a very good point. It still bemuses me that Wolves are in 7th with a goal difference of +2. I think that's quite impressive. Actually, it's probably gone up now because this was from last.
There's 3. Hey, it's 3.
Yeah, +3.
Go on now.
But yeah, I mean, any comments on the game from Everton Burnley? What do you think of Burnley? And they're safe again, but
I predicted Burnley to have a better season. They were great last season, results wise.
Yeah.
And they had European football, didn't they, at the beginning of this season?
I think that screwed them over massively.
Yeah, and I can kind of understand it from that point of view. When you're a club that never plays in Europe, to suddenly get European football, that is a massive deal. And as a player, most of those players have probably never played in European football before. So as much as Sean Dyche is probably telling them to concentrate on the league, we've got to make a good start. They're all probably going, European football, lads. This is going to be fun.
Yeah.
And I can kind of understand it. And it did take them a long time to get going. They looked like favourites for a massive relegation battle.
And then
Sean Dyche.
Yeah, they pulled it back. Yeah. I mean,
I think it's all down to Peter Crouch, but
2 metre Peter. Love a bit of 2 metre Peter.
It's like they've got all these big target men, and they went, "We need the granddaddy of big target men," and then it's just Peter Crouch. Know where Lukaku's going at the end of his career.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah. Sean Dyche will still be there as well.
Yeah,
Sean Dyche will still be there signing Lukaku when he's like 32. But yeah, so they finished 9 points above, or they're 9 points above Cardiff, who are now obviously relegated as well. Do you reckon next year, without European football, they'll be safe or do you reckon they're going to be embroiled in a relegation battle? Or
the trouble is, looking at the table, there's lots of decent teams. Like Southampton look much better now.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got rid of Huddersfield and Cardiff and Fulham and stuff, and that's fine. It's a little bit sad for Fulham. I kind of liked them. I like Craven Cottage mainly. Just a bit different and old school. But then even if you just look right above them, Newcastle are a good team, and it looks like Rafa's going to stay, and it looks like they're going to have a bit of money to spend. Bournemouth just get slightly better every single year. Crystal Palace look half decent. I feel like Burnley are going to be in a relegation because there's no bad teams.
Yeah, I think for Burnley it just all depends on who's going to come up. So obviously we've got Norwich and Sheffield United. So you can argue Sheffield United, Burnley should be beating the likes of Sheffield United. I think Burnley, Norwich will be good games next year, and then who comes up through the playoffs. But yeah, I think Burnley are going to struggle next year. I know it's early to predict it, but they're the sort of team that...
No, I kind of agree, because looking at the table, I see them bottom 5.
Yeah. And
as quality in the
you
team.
never hear of like really good players moving to Burnley, no offense, other than Peter Crouch. But yeah, like...
Well recovered.
Yeah, thanks. It's like, yeah, I just think they're going to struggle. It's not really exotic, is it, as a football destination in the world? But
Burnley.
But then you never know. So yeah,
because if you look at the 17 teams that are currently left in the Premier League, Brighton are arguably the worst, and then it's probably Burnley.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. Yeah,
so
and I think on their day,
on what the promoted teams do.
Yeah, and on their day, Brighton could easily outperform Burnley. So yeah, it's bloody bizarre. Okay, cool. Well, the next game after that was, what should we chat next? Let's go Bournemouth Tottenham. I know we've touched on it, but the
interesting game.
Yes, I mean 2 red cards, 5 minutes apart, but with 15 minutes in between them.
Yeah, they had a little break and come back on.
I think honestly thought Tottenham were going to hold on. I was watching this; it was on at a good time for me to watch it here in Singapore. And it was just like I honestly thought, oh my god, Bournemouth, this is such a wasted opportunity. What are you doing? Because you've got is it Bournemouth like your second team? Is that where you originally?
Yes, I am from Bournemouth. Yeah. So my nephew who I talk to a lot about football, has been a season ticket for like 15 years.
So okay? So what do Bournemouth fans make of this season? Because
Bournemouth okay, I'll give you the lowdown. Not obviously the extreme end of idiot fans that somehow think they should be winning the league or whatever, but just generally speaking, the word I would use to describe Bournemouth fans is grateful.
Okay.
I think the average Bournemouth fans realise that they're still a tiny little team with a tiny little ground and a little budget compared to the teams around it, and Bournemouth fans are continuously sitting there cradling, rocking back and forward slowly, hoping that Eddie Howe doesn't leave.
Okay, right.
Because when he leaves, it all goes away. So they are enjoying their time, and they are doing the right things in improving things like the training and the youth side of things for long-term benefits, rather than just sort of splashing stupid amounts of cash and stuff. They're still trying to get a new stadium built, all that sort of good stuff, which is they need that stuff if they ever want to become a regular team, because at the moment now they're a championship side that is going mid-table-ish in the Premier League, every season getting similar or a couple of points more than the last season, but the vast majority of Bournemouth fans would say that is because Eddie Howe is there.
Okay, so yeah, he's...
Never has one team been so indebted to one manager.
Sir Alex Ferguson.
Yeah. But, you know, Man United are half decent. But size-wise, just, you know, when he took over, they were literally passing buckets around with a minus 17-point goal difference in League Two.
Yeah.
Trying to save the club. So it's...
Okay.
That whole thing.
It's interesting to hear things like that. And it's... The only thing I know Josh predicted Bournemouth to be his surprise package of the season, but for a negative reason, because he thought everyone was thinking they would be better.
An idiot.
Yeah, he's thinking like everyone will think Bournemouth would be quite good because they're like settled in the Premier League. But yeah, I mean, the only question mark I've got over Eddie Howe is spending money.
Yes,
Jordan Ibe. I mean,
much. Yeah, we basically as Liverpool cut. You know. We sold Smith, the fullback, for 6 million to him. Jordan Ibe 15. Striker dude, what's he called? Solanke,
yeah.
Big Dom Solanke, poor man's Lukaku. We sold him to as well, and it's so because obviously most of his time as Bournemouth, he's not had a penny to spend, and even if you look at the team, even in the last few weeks, there are still so many of those players that played in League One and the Championship for Bournemouth, where by now, realistically, they should have kind of replaced everyone
If it was, if it was Football Manager, you're keeping them around for the testimonial. You're keeping them for the testimonial, and that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Some of those players, this is like you're not even a Premier League player. And yeah, so the record of signing players has not been fantastic, and I think that's probably the single reason why the big teams haven't come calling. But it's getting better. We have a running joke that he's re-signed players that he's had in the past when he was at League 2 level and League 1 level, and they've done really well. So we've literally gone through a list of all the players he once had in on loan or bought and had to sell to see if we can just get some of them back, and they might do a job because at least he knows them.
Yeah.
But it is improving over time. I think it's about getting the right staff behind you too, so you can actually. I think nowadays you have to have some sort of transfer committee. I think the manager should get final say. I think it's ridiculous when they don't. But you should have a group of people, I think, and he's just got to find the right people to.
Yeah, okay. I mean, it hasn't all been bad. You know, Nathan Ake, when he picked him out from Chelsea and then signed him permanently, that was a great signing. But yeah, that has always been my question mark over him. So, but yeah, okay, fair enough. But yeah, from the game point of view, then what? Did you think Bournemouth were going to miss that opportunity?
No, I thought it was going to be a 0-0. Yeah, I'll be honest. Okay. They looked pretty blunt. I thought.
I mean,
end of season, not holidays, but kind of like.
Well, nothing to play
for. It's not like they're battling for relegation. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so. And Tottenham were down to 9 men, going, "We'll take a draw." Yeah, no, we'll seriously, we'll have a draw for 9 men.
Yeah,
for half of football.
It does make me laugh. It's taken Bournemouth until the second to last game of the season to realise the best goalkeeper at their club is a youngster that no one's ever heard of.
Yeah, man of the match on his debut.
Yeah, he was brilliant. Other than nearly getting lobbed from 40 yards from Lucas Moura, he was absolutely brilliant. But no, a good game. And obviously Tottenham losing, it does keep the top 4 race going until the final day, which is the top 3.
How are Tottenham 24 points behind Liverpool?
It's ridiculous. Yeah, absolutely ridiculous. But you know, wins for Man United and Arsenal and Chelsea with their game in hand, it suddenly becomes so interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be great.
Have you done a prediction for your top 4?
For my top... Oh, well, not recently, I haven't. I think my actual top 4 that I predicted at the beginning of the season was Man City, Liverpool, Spurs, Arsenal. I think I put in my top 4. Then I put Man United 5th and Chelsea 6th. You could be
still right then.
I could be right, yeah. But
okay, so what's now then? So we're going to agree that most likely case Man City first.
I think I think Man City are going to win the league. Yeah.
Yeah, same here. Liverpool second. Wolves. I'm going for. Tottenham, they've got to scrape it, haven't they?
Yeah, they've got.
They're actually officially behind because Chelsea have the game in hand, don't they?
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, if Chelsea win their game in hand, they're in 4th. So I'm going to go Tottenham 3rd. I think Chelsea
it does feel like completely lucky dip, doesn't it? Picking the 4th spot.
Tottenham, if whatever happens now, they don't have, because if they beat Ajax, I'd say they'd rest players in their last Premier League game for the Champions League final. But now Son is suspended, so they won't have, for their final game in the Premier League, they wonte have Kane or Son, so it'll be Llorente up front. No, Tottenham are going to blow it. Tottenham are going to go 4th, Chelsea 3rd.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to go Chelsea 3rd, Tottenham 4th, Arsenal 5th, Man United 6th.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm going with.
Enjoy some sweet Europa League action next season.
Mate, it's Thursday nights is where it's at. I've always liked Thursday night, so...
I like the 600 group games.
Yeah.
But you have to play before you get anywhere in the Europa League. It's my favourite. It just feels so long, the Europa League.
I know. And then when you get through the group, you're like, sweet relief. Oh, no, wait, there's everyone that didn't qualify from the Champions League group coming down.
It's just doubled in size. Now we've got 16 rounds of bloody Europa League knockout football.
So then on to a team that we've already talked about very briefly. So Bournemouth's South Coast rivals, Southampton, lost 3-0 to West Ham. And then Southampton have been playing much better since they finally got rid of Mark Hughes and brought in Ralph Hasenhüttl, which is the best name in the Premier League.
Yes, good.
But West Ham, it's an interesting one with Pellegrini at the helm, and
they seem like a lucky dip team. That's the team I'd least like to put money on in a bet on a football match. Because you think, they look decent, and then it's like, they look crap. They look decent. No,
but you could sum that up just with Marko Arnautovic, I think.
Yes, that is true.
Yeah,
but he's always wanted to stay.
Oh yeah,
definitely didn't want all that money
in China.
He's always,
he
loves hammers, lovely irons.
Yeah, stuff. I mean, it was a very strange game actually. I mean, Southampton picked Fraser Forster. That was their first mistake. Who brought him back in from the cold, and he was rubbish. Well, he wasn't too bad actually, but.
I wonder if they're just trying to match. Say, should we sell you at the end of the season? It was like, we should.
Yes, we will. Yeah.
Just want to have a look at him. Okay, I've had a look.
He's done. But yeah, I mean, West Ham's an interesting thing. I mean, Arnautovic got 2 goals in this one. One of them was a header from 2 yards, a Dirk Kuyt special, I think we call that, isn't it? A header from 2 yards. Yeah. I can't. His first goal. Oh yeah, that was given away in midfield. Slipped through. Noble actually put a good pass in him. Good finish on his left foot. And then Ryan Fredericks, who I'd forgot existed for West Ham, scored a goal.
All I remember him from Football Manager is he was really fast at running. That
makes a good striker, doesn't it? In Football Manager, definitely used to. Definitely used to. So, but yeah, I mean, West Ham. How do you sum up? You said like they're a lucky dick. They're a lucky dick. No, they're not a lucky dip team.
I don't know. I don't know what goes on in their personal lives, but
is it a success? 11th?
I think it's about as average as you could expect.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't think it's a bad season. I don't think it's a good season. I think it's about meh season. Pellegrini hailed it as a special season. I'm not sure how, but I think it's about as average as it's decent. It's okay. Well done.
They've got to push on next
behind
year.
Watford. Congratulations.
They have to push on next year, don't they? West Ham. They've got to keep. Pellegrini will do a good job with them, but they need some progress. Yeah, you're right. They need some progress. All in all, it was an interesting game. It was an interesting game, that one. It was very much an end of season game. I think Southampton knew they were safe, so obviously with Cardiff losing, but
amount of how good Southampton have been in the last sort of since old Big Ralph for taking over. I think they're allowed a day off. Yeah, they've been exceptional.
Exactly. So, and then before we get onto this game of Wolves v Fulham, where did you honestly think Wolves would finish this year?
I had them. I can't remember. I did a Premier League prediction on my channel, and I think I had them about mid-table.
Okay. Yeah.
I had them quite high up because they've bought Portugal.
Yeah.
Apparently they're just like the Portuguese youth system or something. I don't know how it works exactly, but
Portuguese national team, feeder clubs, Wolverhampton Wanderers.
Exactly. Yeah. It's great for long term their country because they've all played together. So so I thought they were going to do pretty well, but they've still surprised me.
Yeah, okay.
Especially their record against the big teams. Ridiculous.
And this is what I was going to ask you. Do you think, next year, do you reckon they're going to be really in chance for a cup? Do you reckon a cup is on the cards for Wolves next year? Or do you think they'll still be focusing on the league? They could potentially get Europa League this year. If Man City win the FA Cup, then Wolves get Europa League. So
I think a cup is a really good shout. I think they'll do very well to finish where they finish this season.
Okay.
Even if they, and I'm sure they'll strengthen because there's definitely more Portuguese people out there. That I think it's still a fantastic result. If they do 7th again next year, same points, maybe a better goal difference.
Yeah.
I think that is a very, very good season. They can't expect you to first season, 7th, and then go right. Okay, we're looking at top 6 next or top 4 in the season.
Well, it's interesting. They've got owners that are quite pushy and shoving a lot of money into the club, whether it be through Jorge Mendes, the agent, or whatever. So it's it could be one of those things where if they don't get a similar. So look at Leicester. They won the Premier League once, and then everyone was like, "Oh, we should be in Europe every year." And
exactly. That's what I mean. It's realism has a way of biting you in the ass, and just be grateful that you got 7th and take 7th again. You don't, you don't then go, it must be top 4 next season.
Yeah, but Loki, that's you talking as a rational human being, not as a club owner. I know. So, but I think they've had a great season, Wolves. I don't think Wolves fans would have predicted them to finish this high, and I think you're right, they've got to have that bite of realism to come back and say 7th is good, let's aim for 7th again, 7th and 8th, and in around that top 8
top half,
line.
and you'll be
So
because in that time you still made a load more TV money. There's some of the young players have got an extra year. I'm sure they will be improving their facilities and all that stuff, as all teams do when they get to the Premier League.
Yeah.
You know, a bit of stability first. Don't get ahead of yourselves.
Yeah, very true. And then obviously you've already mentioned that you like Fulham, so sad to see them go.
Yeah, there's no particular reason I like Fulham. Craven Cottage is a cool little ground. Ryan Sessegnon's cool. That's about my knowledge of Fulham, along with the sort of Michael Jackson stuff, but we'll brush over that.
Yeah. That's the dark side of Fulham.
Yeah.
But I mean, so I was chatting to a friend here, and we were chatting about Fulham and saying this could next year's make or break, because the wages they've got players on, they could really struggle financially next year, and it could go the way of Sunderland, is what we were saying.
Yeah, you'd hope that modern clubs had learnt to have lots of stuff especially promoted clubs, to have lots of stuff in the contracts that mean players get a release clause or take a big pay cut when they get relegated and stuff, because otherwise you're just gambling your entire club on staying up, which is utterly ridiculous.
Yeah,
I'm
really
hoping that they've got but then it could be a case of they cash in on some players like Ryan Sessegnon and just
that's true.
Whatever 30 million or whatever it is for him, or 100 million in today's climate, and that's them to fund back into the Premier League.
Would you take Sessegnon at Liverpool as a young player to mould, or do you think he needs to go somewhere slightly lower first and prove himself?
I'd like him at Liverpool, but not for the sort of money that he will cost in nowadays market. What's he going to go for? Like something stupid, like 50 million quid or something, 40 million?
If they had stayed up, I think he would have gone for about 40. I think now they've gone down, I think it'll be more like 25, 30. Because they lose a lot of bargaining power.
If we could get him for, and we won't, but if we could get him for say 20 million, I would happily go, we'll give you 20 million, but you can have him for the season.
Yeah, okay.
The old loan back deal.
Yeah.
Right? That's why, because he's not ready for first team at Liverpool, but I think another season, Championship, Fulham, good side, play a bit of football, I'll be okay with that.
Yeah, okay.
But he won't. He'll go for some stupid money because he's English.
Yeah, I could see Everton, someone like that buying him.
Yeah.
An attacking player.
Yeah, they suck up all the dregs, don't they? Everton?
Yeah, so I think that's an interesting one. It'll be interesting to see what they do next year, Fulham. I'll be keeping an eye on them in the Championship. I don't really get much time to watch the Championship over in Singapore much anymore, but I'll keep an eye on them to see how they do. So, but yeah, Cardiff, Crystal Palace in a very topsy-turvy game. Now, I don't want this to come across horrible, but are you happy to see the back of Neil Warnock?
I like him for comedy value.
Okay. I think you're the first person I've ever talked to that said they like Neil Warnock for anything.
But not to laugh at him.
Yeah, okay.
Because he just whinges constantly about how unlucky his team was, and he likes to talk about every decision that went against him in a team. He always forgets the other team's decisions that were wrong, like all good managers.
Yeah.
The football isn't the most exciting brand of football in the world, but he's very good at what he does, which is to get teams in the Premier League and then relegate them.
Yeah.
But it's really hard because you can't hire Neil Warnock to get you promoted and then sack him after he gets you promoted, because it just seems really harsh.
Have a different, the opposite clause in the contract, a promotion release clause.
Yeah, just look, go back to another championship, help them out. So every season he should just get a team promoted and then go back to the championship. I think that would probably be his perfect job.
I mean, is there anything you can take away from Cardiff this year that you've seen? Is there any one? I think I've got one player that might stand out, but I think I'm interested to know what you thought of Cardiff.
I haven't watched them enough to...
No, I'd say the goalkeeper, Etheridge, seems to have done pretty well for them this year, even though they've got a minus 37 goal difference. But
he's had to make a few saves.
Yeah, I think he'll move. I think a Premiership team might snap him up and put him as their backup goalkeeper. No idea. All I know is that he's Filipino. So yeah, but I think someone might snap him up and whack him on the bench. And Crystal Palace looking pretty good. settled under old
boy Hodgson.
Yeah.
He just keeps doing it, doesn't he? Bless him. He's 117.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know that, but I like. It's the opposite of Neil Warnock. Neil Warnock feels like an old school manager that has old school tactics that work with the right teams and in the right league. Whereas old boy, he looks like an owl and he's wise.
He's got to, like, if you were Roy Hodgson, right, would you retire now? You've saved Crystal Palace once and then you've got them to 12th in the Premier League, possibly 11th if results go their way on the final day.
It's pretty impressive, isn't it?
You'd be,
because I thought it was a terrible appointment. I might even just be bitter because of Liverpool.
Yeah. The fact that he bought you the major signing of Paul Konchesky.
But I thought he was a terrible appointment, and he's proved me massively wrong. But yeah, I don't know what he's more to expect.
Yeah.
It's not like he's going to push top 6 next year.
Exactly, that's what I get. I'm like, you go out because the chances are they're probably going to lose Zaha. I think they'll get a big money bid from someone for Zaha.
I guess that's all down to the person, isn't it? Some people can't retire because then they just die.
Yeah, very true.
Some people just need to work, and he might be one of those guys.
Yeah.
So Crystal Palace could do a lot worse than keeping him. If he wants to stay, I'd obviously 100% keep him and.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing a great job.
Top half next season.
Yeah, you never know. So, and then on to the
although they're going to lose Wan-Bissaka, they're going to lose Zaha again.
I think they'll lose Zaha. Yeah, I think they'll lose Zaha again. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I don't know if they've got Batshuayi. He's only on loan as well, isn't he? And he's done well for them. So they've got to go and buy someone because Christian Benteke is probably worse than Lukaku at scoring goals.
I'm having more flashbacks.
Yeah. But then go on then. So on to the Newcastle Liverpool game, which always a goal fest. I still remember the days of Keegan slumped over the advertising hoardings and
but we looked tired, which is understandable. We had a busy week.
But talk me through it. Talk me through the ups and downs of this game.
Okay,
for a Liverpool fan.
Okay, team selection. I have learnt to always trust in Klopp. I find it hilarious when people are like, "Oh my god, I can't believe you're playing so and so at the number 8," and it's like because he's a really good manager. So just shut your face.
Yeah.
We scored with Van Dijk early on, and I was like, "Here we go." Lovely, just relax, enjoy a bit of footy, comfortable 2-3-0 win. Newcastle not really got anything to play for. Rafa's probably not that bothered. It's all gonna be. Oh no. And then was it Atsu score, and I was still okay because it's we looked half decent starting out, and it's only 20 minutes gone. I was like, okay, that's fine. Mo Salah does what Mo Salah does, scores himself a cheeky goal, and I was like, okay, normal service is resumed. And then, but Newcastle were really good. Like, but for a team that they did have nothing to play for, didn't they?
Yeah, nothing. Nothing to play for.
I thought they were brilliant. And Rondon, occasionally looks like a good striker. Like
good guy Rondon. We're big fans of him on the pod.
Yeah,
we love a bit of Rondon.
He was superb, and Lovren looked ropey, but he has been out for quite a long time, and he's Lovren.
Yeah.
So he looks ropey. That'll be on his tombstone. And when they scored, I was like, that's it then. I feel like this is it. This is where we slip up.
You thought it was title
over? Yeah, we started
over.
To look really leggy.
Yeah.
And then obviously we had the injuries with Mo Salah going off, and it all just pointed towards getting a draw. And then it was like, because like I said before, I think I expect Man City to win every game of the season and win the league.
Yeah.
And that's fine, but I didn't want to gift it to them. I wanted to push them all the way, so they had to win their last game. And we just looked tired. And then when we were 2-2, we just didn't play very well. There was some really errant passing. It looked like we got nervous or just tired. It was a lot of passing down the lines that was going astray, and we weren't getting the ball into the box. We didn't even create very much. And then obviously that disgusting foul.
Yes.
Which
Matt Ritchie siding down Fabinho with his invisible leg.
His bone was sticking out of his leg. It was so bad. And then old Divock Origi just does what he does against when it matters.
So what did you make of the whole Van Dijk telling Trent Alexander-Arnold he shouldn't take
amazing.
it, and Shaqiri let Shaqiri in swing it, and I was like,
let the little fella. I thought that's brilliant. Van Dijk's just the best player in the world.
Well, I mean,
apart from Messi and Ronaldo.
Van Dijk's obviously knew that, let's at least. I think Van Dijk was more like, well, if everyone misses it, it's got a chance of getting a corner and the goalkeeper will save it or something. It's going to cause more danger. Sort of ones
could just go in, go straight in. That's always the danger of those in-swingers, that with so many bodies, the goalkeeper can't go to where the ball's eventually going to lead up because he's assuming somebody's going to head it. So it could just swing in.
Yeah.
That's not always the thing. But you just do what Van Dijk says.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't argue with him. I really wouldn't argue with him. Yeah, he's an absolute machine. But I mean, so what are when Origi scores? What's the feeling? What's the? Do you think it's like, without quoting something?
You're going to say destiny,
it's our year sort of thing. Yeah. But do you?
I've never said it's our year, right? Just as a Liverpool, I want to quote. I have never, as a Liverpool fan, said it's our year, right? Only in jest.
Okay, but you must get a feeling. No, I don't.
No, I don't.
Okay, all right.
I wouldn't say I'm an optimist or real. I'm a realist. I'm not a pessimist, but I can't see Man City losing or drawing. So, regardless of the heroic late victory from a free kick that fully wasn't deserved, and a bit of luck, but. The best thing about it, apart from the 3 points and stuff, was watching Twitter afterwards.
Oh, it's
the amount of people accusing not just a referee of being bribed by Liverpool or linesman because he was right there, but the whole of the FA.
I know, it's brilliant.
The whole of the FA have got together and said, lads, let's try and get Liverpool to win the league this season.
What goes through people's minds? Yeah, what goes through people's minds?
It's hilarious. And it's the case of always pointing out, you point out that foul or something like that, and showing that clearly wasn't a foul and shouldn't have been given as a free kick, but then never point out other stuff that went for your team. Always point out all the unlucky, all the people and all these Man City fans saying, the league just wants Liverpool to win it. We never get any luck. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Every team gets luck and every team gets unlucky. Because refereeing's really hard and some referees are shit.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And the other thing I've got to say is that, the foul wasn't a foul, but it's not like Fabinho fell over and the referee went, goal, that's a goal. Straight away. No, they still had to put a good free kick in, which the defenders should have challenged a bit better for. Origi was fresher coming on as a sub, so he had
how often does a free kick from that wide
end in a goal?
Into a goal, like 1 in 50?
Yeah, it's
whatever.
Normally, I think they get swung in and then you get a corner or something, or a throw or something like that, or a free kick to the defence because the striker pushes someone.
Yeah,
but so I can understand the frustrations. Yes, it's a dive. Yes, it shouldn't have been a free kick, but it's not. The referee hasn't just turned around and gone, "Yeah, that's a foul, goal."
Yeah, that's so bad that I'm just going to give a goal. That was such a hack down.
So that's that. Yeah, that really annoys me when people. But like you say, Twitter. If you've got to take Twitter for what it is, haven't you? You just look at it and laugh.
Oh, it's joyous. It's.
But yeah, I did see that. I actually only saw it today with the whole look at how I think someone said how can you tell me this isn't a conspiracy? Look where the lino's standing. I was like, what are you on about? What are you on about?
I love to think that the lino, the image of the lino going, I'm going to give that as a foul. I love Liverpool.
Yeah.
It's just bonkers. It's hilarious. I'm going to risk my entire career and say that's a Liverpool free kick. It's not even a dangerous one.
No.
Fair enough if it was right on the edge of the area and you think they might have a chance here. But it's I'm going to give this one in the hope that he fucking in-swings it. And I'm going to risk my career and never get to lino again because...
it's just funny. It's just funny. But so, with Liverpool then, is it... Next season, do you think... You can do this again and go for the title. Is it your year next year? No. Can you? Do you reckon the title race?
I can't see it be.
The chat we have,
there's
here,
not much more we can do.
Yeah.
and this is what people. I've had people saying that Liverpool are going to bottle it.
It's not bottling it, is it? It's not bottling it.
How do you bottle 94 points with a game left? How is that a thing? We have got more points than we've got probably mostly in my lifetime and in a season, and it just so happens that another team has got a couple more.
Yeah,
shit happens, right?
Like, I mean, being a Man United fan, this is the worst end to a league season I think anyone could ever have as a Man United fan. But there's no way you could say, even if Man City lost to Leicester tomorrow, like,
Brendan. Go on, Brendan. Go on.
You couldn't even say Man City have bottled it because both teams have played so well. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous. You can't bottle a league
where you've lost 1 or 2 games.
I mean, Tottenham have bottled it. Tottenham have bottled it because they were like 4 points off top at one point of the season, and now they're 24 points off top, and it's just like.
But people use this just gets me, especially with being an FM streamer and YouTuber. People use the term bottle job wrongly all the time.
Yeah.
For any loss, apparently, is a bottle job. Like Everton not winning the league is a bottle job. Like. It's not just any loss. You can't just say any time a team loses, or like you went 1-0 up and then lost 2-1. It's a bottle job. No.
Yeah.
It's just a term for losing a game.
I understand that frustration a lot. The comment sections are normally great for bottle job comments, but
it's the only thing that irritates me on the whole of YouTube comments. If somebody get the troll comment of, "Oh, I hope your whole family dies of cancer," that doesn't faze me whatsoever. If somebody says a bottle job because I lost 2-1 against top of the league,
block them.
I'm like.
But, I mean, sorry. It was like going back to the original point. I was going to ask you. So the conversations we have here is that next year, like next season, Liverpool and Man City are the only two teams, or Liverpool are the only team that will be able to challenge Man City. Whether they do or not, you don't know. But if you took Liverpool out of this equation this season, Man City are running away with it.
It would be the dullest season in the world.
It would. And it's like, so do you think Liverpool have that within them again to go and do this sort of title race and this sort of challenge on a lot of fronts? Because you did really well in the Champions League, obviously, technically still in it, but probably going out. But I mean, it's
technically, come on.
So that's my first question is, do you think Liverpool can do this again next season? And then my second question is, if you don't, now I'm not saying bottle job, but I'm saying if you don't get through the Champions League or you don't win the league, is it an unsuccessful season because you haven't won anything under Klopp for 3 years, when he said, if I don't win anything in 3 years, then we'll call it
I think a failure. Okay, so I think when you compare Liverpool Man City, I think if you compare the first 11, you could argue any of the players. Ederson versus Alisson, or Aguero versus Firmino, or Mane versus Sané, just because they rhyme. Sterling versus Mo Salah. You could argue each way on all those. I think we're about as even as you get in a first 11. The difference is they've got a better bench. Okay. As good as Shaqiri is and Origi is at getting assists and goals late on, doesn't happen that often. When they can bring on, like, they can miss De Bruyne for half a season and still do what they've done. They can have Sané and Mahrez sitting on the bench, barely getting any game time. I think, David Silva getting less games. That they have a ridiculous bench that would pretty much walk into any other team in the league. Into their first teams, and I think that's where the difference is. I think we've got a good midfield now, like a group of sort of 4, 5, 6 players that we can rotate, and you see that every week. There's usually 3 different centre mids, but our front 3 has pretty much been static the entire season, and that's not ideal because our next best is good but a step down. Whereas I think in an ideal world, we'd have 4 of those world-class strikers, wingers, inside forwards, whatever you want to call them, and they would get 3/4 of the games each. They would constantly rotate. And so I think we can do it next season. I feel like this was such a weird season. I don't think it'll be for either Man City or Liverpool. I don't think it'll be quite as high points next season.
Okay.
I think this is just like each team, like each one pushing the other on to extraordinary lengths. And I think, I think we'll be there or thereabouts this season. But when Man City exist as they do, it's it's always going to be ridiculously hard to beat them over the course of a season. Just because, like you say, if they have injuries like to De Bruyne, who's my favourite Premier League player outside of Liverpool, and you don't even miss him.
Yeah, yes.
You got one of the Premier League's best centre-backs in Company who's had injuries and is winding down his career, and you don't even miss him. That's half decent.
Yeah. And do you think Liverpool need to invest then in squad depth?
Yeah, I think that'll be the big thing in the summer. We need a left back, and I think we will go out and get a big name or big talent striker who can also play on the wing.
Okay.
What's that guy's name in France? It's not Pepe. It's like PP or something. There's a striker. I'm not weird. It's definitely a striker. It looks like it's
really
Pew Pew or yes. No,
Pew
I'm not
Pew.
going mad. I'm googling it.
Okay, yeah, you Google it. PP. Liverpool signed PP. I can't wait for that headline.
Yeah, Nicolas Pepe is Pepe, but it's not pronounced that way. I've heard. Right, we'll go with it. I'm calling him Nicolas Pepe, right?
Okay.
Nicolas Pepe.
That's going to stick.
Banging in goals. He scored 20 goals in League One for a French team, Lille.
Yeah.
And there's talk of us buying him for sort of big money, 50, 60, 70 odd million. And I think that's the way we need to go. We need to get one more player on the level of Mane, Salah and Firmino. And then those four can rotate and stuff and still have the backups like the Shaqiris. And we need a left backup because Moreno's going to be leaving at the end of the season. We might need a backup goalkeeper because Mignolet's probably going to leave. He's available, obviously, if when De Gea goes.
Yeah.
If you're yours for $5 million.
Cheers.
And so yeah, we will. I think our first team is fantastic, as proved this season. But yeah, we need to have a bench that can compete and can rotate, and we can actually rest players without taking a dip in our level.
All right. Yeah.
What was the second part of the question?
Do you think this season can be classed as not a failure but unsuccessful in terms you haven't won anything? Yeah.
As I said, I'm a realist, and I see what Liverpool can only control what Liverpool do. I can only see getting to the Champions League semi-final and possibly final, possibly winners, and 90, possibly 97 points in the league as amazing, 100% successful. Just because another team is gonna maybe have a point more, that's out of our control. So you can't judge your season based on what Man City do. Our highest points total in God knows how many years, I think, and considering how far behind Man City we were last season, we went from a 20-point deficit to challenging them in the league is and if you'd ask any fan of any team, if your team get 20 more points next season, would you count that as a success? Most teams would bite your hand off.
Yeah, we'd still be in third.
Ironically, Huddersfield will still be relegated. But at least you'd be closer.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm. The Champions League this year it's a weird one because despite Champions League being so big and important and money and blah blah blah, that's been like a holiday.
Okay.
From the Premier League, because it's been such an amazing race, this Premier League, and for so long, Man City were ahead for a long time, then they had a bit of dip of form, we went ahead and then had 3 draws, and then it's now neck and neck every week, we go above each other. The Champions League has just been an escape. I've got to enjoy it, and got to the Champions League final last year, get to the semi-final this year is and bearing in mind, it's only a few years ago we weren't even in the Champions League yearly basis. It's
a strange thing because from an outside of Liverpool, like an outsider looking in, the season's been an amazing success without winning, and potentially without winning anything, and that's such a weird thing to consider. But there's no way I don't think anybody could class this Liverpool season as a
but I'm sure they will on Twitter.
So well, they'll say the FA failed in their conspiracy. So
exactly.
But I mean,
so it's been it's been the best season as a Liverpool fan. I've had to watch so many seasons of average football, where kind of like we're talking about West Ham, where some weeks we look really good, and then the next week we were terrible, and that's been the vast majority of the time in my adult life being that way as a Liverpool fan, and going through the money troubles and stuff like that with the rubbish owners, and I just get to. I love it. We've got a manager that I love. I sit on his face every day.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
I've got a pillow. It's not weird. And a team that I get to enjoy watching, because I've always said, and this might be weird for some fans, is that of course I want to win leagues and stuff, but at the end of the day, my hobby is to sit down in front of the TV and watch a football team play. And if that in and of itself is not enjoyable, then the rest doesn't really matter. But I get to enjoy watching Liverpool play football because they're really good at it and they play some amazing football, and I love the style of football. So my hobby, whether we win stuff at the end, is not irrelevant, but almost irrelevant. My hobby is watching football, and we're really good at it, and it's really fun. So that's cool.
Yeah, good.
Basically, it's a really simplified version, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's a very nice way to describe it, actually. It's very good to hear someone talk like that, and it's really good to hear that, actually. I think we're just about out of time. I think we've actually overrun from what we predicted at the beginning, but I think we'll wrap it up there. Just for scores on the doors to let you know, Tottenham are currently in 4th place.
I thought you said you were chatting about Lukaku.
Oh yeah, we can chat about Lukaku if you want. If you've got time. Yeah, okay. He's shit, isn't he? Well, he's not shit. He's not. He's an enigma. That's what he is. He's an enigma because he could be really good. Like, he could be really good. I don't know what Mourinho
There's
did to him.
glimpses of him really goodness.
Like, when he first signed, he was good. He was really good. He was a goal scorer. He fitted into what Mourinho wanted to do. And then, for some reason, it seemed like Mourinho wanted him to put on about 20 kilos of weight.
Yeah.
Like,
and I'm not going to call him fat because that's pot calling the kettle black. Like, it's obviously he's a big muscly dude.
Yeah.
Right. But you don't want to be that shape as an athlete. There's, if you're running 12 kilometers every game, you don't want to be really muscly.
Yeah.
You want to be slimmer and athletic, and because he's already got the build for it.
Yeah,
he was already big.
Well, that's what annoys me about it. Yeah, is that he already was probably a good size for a target man. Like, maybe a bulk up in the right areas, maybe in like the shoulders and
first touch area.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, I'd love to see if someone could do a graph of the correlation between his weight gain and his first touch, how far his first touch goes away from his body. That would be brilliant.
Just so he can pinpoint the ideal weight for him.
Yeah,
he's good at there. First touches are great, just there.
Exactly. I mean, he's. I don't want us to sell him. The rumours are that we're going to maybe look to cash in on him this year, this summer. I don't want to sell him because I don't think we could bring in better for the price that we probably would sell him for in today's market. But I also think that he's not. If you get him to understand how you want to play and what's expected of him and the good weight and. I just think he's a really good striker, and I don't want us to get rid of him too quickly, and I think that's an issue. Obviously,
don't give up on him.
Yeah, I'd love a front three that was like Liverpool's, where they all intertwine and things like that, but we're not doing that. Like, you could argue Rashford, Martial and Lingard did that when Solskjaer first came into play, but that's never sustainable for that to happen with those sorts of players, because Martial plays hot and cold. Rashford is he an out-and-out striker? He's young, he's trying to find his best position, and Lingard, as we've already discussed, but yeah, Lukaku, I think he has the makings, and he's still relatively young. He's still a good footballer. He just the club need to figure out what they want from him as a striker. Yeah, and that's.
All right, I'm gonna turn this around. Final question for you then.
Yeah.
Is Ollie at the wheel? Like, what's your feelings on Mr. Solskjaer?
I think. To be honest, I watched.
Where do you sit?
I'll put a little shout out to your ramble that you did on Solskjaer, because I watched that and I 100% agree. I think at the time he was the correct appointment. I think they got the appointment time wrong.
Should have done it at the end of the season.
Yeah, I don't know why. It's not like he was a wanted manager from anywhere else.
Yeah, Real Madrid was sniffing about.
And I think even if they were, he would have turned them down for Man United at the end of the season. He would have signed on for Man United. I think all it did is signing him to a permanent deal at the time they did is it cranked up the pressure on him to think, right, well, this isn't a temporary gig anymore. This is something I've got to done. Which if something I've got to do now full time. And if they had done that at the end of the season, then he gets the summer to have that pressure, and it's not during game time, and the players probably wouldn't have slacked off in terms of what's going on. If he was still temporarily, I mean, I never like to suggest players down tools.
Okay, let's go roll it back. So let's say he was not given the full-time job.
Yeah.
And he was still on probation, call it, and you got to this point of the season, would he have even been offered the job with the same results?
Oh yeah. I think he would have.
Would he have been offered the job with the recent form and everything?
Yeah, I think he would have.
You still think he would have?
I honestly think he would have. I think his remit was beat PSG in the Champions League or get top 4 at the end of the season, and I think it's when they beat PSG and then we lost the next game.
Pulled the trigger.
After that, I think it was already a sign, seal, deliver sort of contract.
Do you see him as being a long-term success, or just kind of cold?
I think it's
steady the ship until.
I think it will be, if he sees out the 3-year contract he's got, I'll be absolutely amazed. I'll send you 100 Singapore dollars in the post if he sees out that
like
3
a
years.
pound?
It's about 50 quid. So
I'll take it.
yeah. But I can't see it happening. I could see him staying in the club. I could definitely see him staying in the club, or there's a sort of a mutual agreement that he goes and joins another club like Mould again, or I don't know, someone else in the Premier League or something. But I'd be very surprised if he sees the whole 3-year contract through. I would love it to work out. Obviously, I'd absolutely love it. He's one of my first.
Yeah, it's one of the coolest things
memories. For Solskjaer.
It's my great hope that Gerrard comes back and
and I think Chelsea fans will have that ideal that Terry or Lampard will come back and manage them to a Premier League title sort of thing. But my heart is like, yes, it's go on, Ole. And my head is, as a football fan and someone that I think is, I'm very down to earth in these sort of things. I'm like, no, I don't think it's gonna.
I also think there's a correlation between. I think he's starting to look more and more like David Moyes. Like David Moyes and Gollum's love child.
That's just David Moyes again, isn't it?
Is that a Man United manager thing that they start moulding into David Moyes?
Oh, for God's sake, Huddersfield have just equalised. It is. I don't. It's hard.
Is it Emil and Benza?
Benza, yeah. I think
great player.
Solskjaer seems like a great person to come in. Timing. I know. I can't believe that. I should have ended the podcast. I should have been like, no, we've run out of time for Lukaku. Sorry. But Solskjaer seems perfect.
The background woman.
I think Solskjaer seems perfect for the sort of come in, arm around the shoulder. Let's get everyone settled down.
Right the ship.
Yeah, right the ship and keep it going. And I hope
one thing he'll be very good at is working out if a player's Man United material or not. Because he clearly is.
Yeah.
So I'm sure he took one look at Sanchez and was like, fuck off.
I mean, the things that are coming out of the ground and stuff is that, he's seen Sanchez train and wasn't even impressed. So, I mean, it's an interesting one. He's never had a lot of money to spend, so what's it going to be like in the transfer window?
Yeah, that's a big game. Like, how much do they trust him with money?
Yeah,
here's a tenner.
Yeah, exactly.
Get yourself something nice, right?
Here's 100 Singapore dollars. Go and buy yourself something nice. Yeah, it's I don't know. I honestly think with my head, it's not going to work out.
Okay, one little last fantasy question then.
Yeah.
Man United. Solskjaer decides he prefers Mould and goes off back, right? You need a new manager. And every manager in the world has said they will come to you. Who do you take?
It's going to really pain me to say this. Guardiola.
Yeah.
It would, to be honest, I think it would be, if I could put a top 3 in order, it would be Guardiola, Klopp, Pochettino. for any manager in the world, I think that's what I'd go for. I think they're just...
I suppose...
Guardiola.
Is Pochettino realistic, do you think?
I think Pochettino's realistic. I think he... I don't want to say he needs to win something with Tottenham, because he doesn't need to win something with Tottenham. He's a very good manager. But I think he might get a bit pissed off if there isn't the investment because again, rumours is that he was told no transfers in this whole season because of the stadium. Now the stadium's done, and it'll be interesting to see if he gets back
show me the money.
Yeah, now
it's the same thing. Going back to Bournemouth, what Eddie Howe said was, he needs to see progress every year, or he will leave. Yeah, he came out and sort of said that. It's like, so Tottenham need to show him the money.
You know, as much as we're saying Tottenham are bottling it a little bit this season, where they've dropped from challenging in the title race to now just about holding on to fourth. Credit of Huddersfield. Would he leave Tottenham to go and join Man United, who are sick,
tough, isn't it?
And struggling? It depends.
Yeah, like if Man United came to and said, look, take over Man United, we'll give you X amount of money, and we'll give you 100 million to spend, and then Tottenham said, we'll pay you the same, and we'll give you 100 million to spend.
It'd stay at Tottenham, I think.
Oh, yeah. Especially because you know the players better then. You know there's less of a clear out that's needed. And I think it's less of a rebuild.
I honestly think a big thing of it is that he would not become Man United manager unless there was a director or someone in between him and Woodward to help with transfers. I think that's a massive, massive issue at the club at the moment. And I think Pochettino's a clever enough guy to realise that, you know, if you're going to want me as manager, then you have to go and get a director of football. But it's all, it's all rumours and hearsay in it, because I can't see it happening anytime soon. Like, even if Solskjaer got sacked by Christmas, let's say next season, I don't think Tottenham won't be Tottenham shouldn't be in a worse position than Man United if Solskjaer's going to get sacked. So I can't see Pochettino leaving Spurs in that sort of situation. But yeah, it's
horrible, isn't it?
It's horrible.
I've had 29 years of this. It's not as fun, is it, on the other end?
No, I mean, I'm lucky in a sense that I like all football. I can watch Liverpool play football really well and enjoy it, even though I'm a Man United fan. Like, I prefer it if they played football and then lost, which is great.
Yeah.
But same with Man City. Like the Amazon Prime documentary about Man City was fascinating. Loved it. Loved watching it. Loved seeing all the background about it. I didn't watch it as a United fan thinking, oh, what are these knobheads?
Boo, every time Man City player comes.
What's the point of that? And it's so. I'm happy with myself how I feel about it. It is annoying that Man United are doing shit this year, but you know, it could be a lot worse. You could be blooming Huddersfield. You could be we're drawing 1-1 with them, so we pretty much are Huddersfield. Yeah,
could be worse. Could be still Man United.
It's always going to be tough when I've grown up with the success that Man United have, and I'm not. Well, you know, I'm not a glory hunter. That's the motto of glory hunters, but. Like, my mum was a huge Man United fan, had season ticket at Old Trafford, so like it's in my blood.
You're inherited.
I'm inherited into it, and I was inherited it so much that my older brother rebelled against my mum and supported Liverpool in terms of football. So our family has.
Your brother on the podcast.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't listen, and he's boring, so it's fine. But I mean, it's a hard thing to take when it's been so successful, but it was always going to happen. Fergie kept that club
we got
going.
to remember also that when we're talking about non-success, you're talking about 6th in the league.
Yeah,
not
exactly.
Like relegation, bankruptcy, and all the teams, all these. You know,
I mean, it could be you could be a Sunderland or a Bolton fan, for example. Like, look how screwed Bolton are; it's ridiculous. Yeah. So,
or Fort William.
Fort William. So, well, they're on the up, aren't they? After your little jaunt there with the donation and everything like that. So,
not winning, not on the pitch. Sadly, but they are financially stable for a while.
Was it you? By the way, if people don't know what we're chatting about, go and look Fort William up, and you'll come across Loki's YouTube save for them as well. It's absolutely brilliant. But was it you that retweeted their guy? Then they're 7-0 down. He scored a Panenka penalty.
Yes,
unbelievable.
And the guy, and you see the clip, and the goalkeeper says to the penalty taker, Scott Hunter, he says to him, "I saw your penalty on Sky Sports last week." So it assumes he's going to go somewhere else, and he just dinks him. Scott Hunter is the Fort Williams top goal scorer of the season with 2. Bearing in mind the
amazing.
season's just finished.
Amazing.
So
absolutely amazing. Right. Well, we better end it there, mate. It's good.
Yes.
I think we could chat about football for ages. So if Josh is away and you ever want to come back on again, it would be great to have you.
Sounds good.
I've really enjoyed it. Quickly let people know where they can find you if they don't already know. Go for it.
I am Loki Doki on YouTube's and at Loki Doki GG on the Twitters. And annoyingly, Loki_Doki_GG on Twitch because I'm an idiot.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, everybody, for watching. As I say, it's been absolutely. I've wanted to chat to you for ages about it. It's been absolutely great having you on.
Yeah, it's been great, mate.
And well, Josh will be back next week, so it'll be back to the usual format with the Wiki Files and the quiz. And we look forward to seeing all of you guys then. Please leave us a comment and say hello to Loki over on his channel. But for now, we're out. Cheers.